Welcome to Good Night Book with Erica and Nate.
What is that metaphor about, like, or the parable of the something to the something goes, how's the water? And the something goes, what water?
Exactly. That really hits hard. Oh man, that really. No, I get exactly. That really, I was about to say the same thing.
Isn't it weird? It works for so many situations.
I know. It's like everything that's going on. It's like there's things and there's things you can say and there's like
and
one
then
of
there's
the
things that are harder to say.
And then you're like, and it's like, there you go.
Exactly. I couldn't have said it better myself.
You did, though, or just a minute ago you did. I mean, I don't know what better, but I don't want to evaluate.
I said something.
You said something, all right. So, are we going to acknowledge that we did this before and I blew it and deleted the files, or are we going to pretend that didn't happen? Thank you so much for acknowledging my good question.
You're welcome. I
think that it's important that I pay the price for doing this.
It's almost winter, and so we also felt like it was better to record it closer to cold times.
Yeah, we did it in the middle of the summer last time, and it just didn't make any sense. You could hear the sweat dripping from our brows. So the book that we are redoing because of my failure is The Snowy Day by Ezra Jack Keats. And I wanted to start right away here. For some reason, I'd forgotten the Ezra part of the guy's name. So I was just thinking Jack Keats. And I gotta say, don't you think Jack Keats is better than Ezra Jack Keats? I just wanted to say better than Ezra, really.
God, I can't even add to that. That was so good.
I know it took me a long time. I've been up since about 5:30. You think you disagree? You think Ezra Jack Keats is better?
I think it's got all the right syllables and vowels, and I really like the way the whole thing works together.
I think that the name Ezra may have been ruined for me by the band and the constant comparisons suggested by the band's name. Are there any other phrases that have been ruined by either band names or other things? I'm sure there's a bunch.
I still haven't found what I'm looking for.
Oh, that comes up a lot? You're like looking around. I still haven't. You're like looking for your keys.
And then you're like, phone, wallet.
Get stuck in your head.
And I'm mad because I can't find it. And then out of the kitchen, Brett's like, and I'll steal.
Well, that's kind of, although with his beautiful voice, that's really a blessing. So
it is. That's true.
What about whenever I'm talking about
them.
Jimmy eating the world? It's like I can't help but think of that band. Jimmy Eat World. True. Also Billy.
Thanks,
whenever
J-E-W.
I'm Billying my Joel, I'm like, it's just that guy Billy Joel. His name comes up in my head for some reason. I was just like, yeah.
Oh yeah. I didn't quite make the connection. Thank you, God.
Sure.
Oh, I feel really out of it.
Okay, so those are all the phrases that have been ruined by music. So let's go into our synopses. You want to go first?
Okay. Sure.
We didn't have good paperwork either, so I really wish I remembered what my old synopsis was, but I think my new one's good.
I have my old notes from Midsummer.
Oh, do you really? Oh, man.
Okay.
We're not. This isn't about the movie Midsummer. This is about the book. Do you remember that movie?
A Snowy Day.
Go ahead.
I never saw it.
Is it A Snowy Day?
Here we go.
No. This is The Snowy Day, Erica. Let's not make this
sugar
some general
pumps. Okay.
Sugar pumps. Sugar pumps rules.
Okay. A little boy wakes up to a winter wonderland and has a magical day exploring his Brooklyn neighborhood in his cute red snowsuit. Such quiet sweetness. I was trying to match the tone of the book. That's mine.
It's funny that you say the thing about Brooklyn, because when I read this, when we read it for it last time, actually, I was kind of like wondering where the setting was for sure, and so I looked it up, or I kind of like looked in the front, and it says in the opening, in the front cover inside, it says manufactured in China, set in Bembo, and I was like, oh, Bembo. I wonder if that's like a small African nation I don't know
like
about.
a neighborhood.
And I thought it was like somewhere in Africa. That's honestly what I thought. It was like,
okay.
because like Basotho, there's like these little countries that we just never learned
really
about.
good.
And so I was like, oh, well, that's interesting, isn't it? And they have snow there. Wow, so I looked it up, and it's a font. It's just the font that the book was set in.
That would have been amazing. I mean, that was kind of a leap to assume that he even wrote about where it was set. Mm-hmm. The publisher was all over this. They were like,
yeah, I've never seen that in a book.
People want to know.
Yeah, I've never seen that in a book.
I know. This is what makes them the Penguin Publishing House. I forgot who did this.
They're penguins, all right. They love snow.
In Bembo.
They love snow in Bembo. Okay, here we go. And synopsis. A kid spends the day playing by himself in the snow. Then he learns an important lesson about temperature, disappointment, and the temporary nature of snowballs and everything. Then he goes and plays with another kid the next day, I guess. I added that on to the end.
That was good. Spoiler alert. God, Nate, you always give away the end.
I know. That's what I like to do. That's why they call me Spoily. So let's talk about highlights. I'm just gonna spoil it and say that this is how I am, spoily over here.
I mean,
I just love this book. It's it's really good. It's not a book I can really make fun of at all, except for the snowman. Can we agree that is a dumb-looking snowman? That's not how you make a snowman. Because he's smiling? No, because he's got like a big body.
Or his tiny little head?
He's got a huge body and a little head. Usually like the classic snowman is like 3, right? Maybe that's not how they do it in Bembo. I don't want to be culturally insensitive.
God, you're canceled.
By the way,
I think it's great because it shows that how old do you think this kid is?
Let's say 30.
This is the 60s. Not today.
Oh, okay. I would say like, what do you think? 5? He's not old.
5 or 6?
How old do you have to be in the snowball fights? Probably like 7 or 8, don't you think?
Yeah.
I'd say like 8.
Yeah, maybe he's really little. Maybe he's 4 or 5.
Yeah, I think
that'd be kind of crazy.
4 or 5, the way like his mom is taking his socks off and stuff. Mm-hmm. His mom is awfully involved.
Almost toddler.
I moved out. I had my own place when I was 6, so. I mean, I guess I don't know.
You were doing snow fights at 3.
Yeah. No, I still didn't do those till I was 7 or 8. Do you like snowball fights? Are you good at them?
No. God, no.
Never liked them. Did girls not do that?
No, for sure girls did. But I think, I probably wanted to like them and be a part of them. But when it really comes down to it, this is probably my current brain reflecting on youth. But I just think I was always unable to participate in the way that I wish I could have. Like with really good aim, good snowballs. There's a level of violence that I think a lot of boys carry into any activity like that I just did not like.
It's also like, yeah, you got to be really aggressive, I feel like, in a snowball fight. Mm-hmm. I feel like with the knowledge and sneakiness I have now, I feel like I could do a lot better. But I was trying to play their game too much, and I was just not good at throwing. I don't have a great panic response. My panic response is like just stand still for a little bit. You know what I mean? Like it can be helpful in some situations, like if you get lost in the mall, but not other situations, like a bus is barreling at you.
Right. Or a snowball's coming at you.
No, I could use that example, I guess, if I wanted to make it more direct to this conversation. Yeah, you're right. Look, note taken.
But I like the bus. It's very similar. I kind of felt like that in snowball fight.
So ouchy. You know, like when
you,
get a snowball, it's so ouchy in your face.
I've been trying to teach of like the fun, playful, like I'm just gonna scoop up 2 handfuls of snow and lightly toss it toward you.
Mm-hmm.
And if some of it lands on you, whoa, like it's
Uh-huh.
kind of a, I don't know, pacifist version of snowball fights. And if she does that to me, I'm like, oh, whoa. So that there's always still some laughter involved.
I do let
a very gentle touch.
whitewashing. Remember whitewashing? That's what I did
Oh, God,
with Wes.
yes.
I just come up behind her and push her face in the snowbank.
That's good.
Yeah,
Yeah, never to like want to go back out in the snow ever again.
Yeah, it's great because I don't want to. It's cold out there.
I know.
And
That's the hard thing about having little kids. You have to all of a sudden re-embrace sledding and skating and
my daughter loves sledding,
making snowmen.
but she thinks that sledding means that she sits on a sled and I pull her around the neighborhood. I took her sledding when she was 2. There was a little hill and a big hill, and I was like, which one do you want to do? Which I don't know what I was thinking, asking. Because 2-year-olds are very dumb. They don't really know anything at all. She said big hill, and we went down, and it was just spraying snow in her face for like, I would say it took an hour to get down. We were going 35 the whole way, and it was just spraying her in the face the whole time. And she couldn't scream because she was being pummeled with too much snow. So she does not enjoy downhill sledding still as a result of that. But she likes cross-country sledding. Which is kind of like dog sledding.
That's not a thing. It's cajoring. Yeah. Like you just need to get a dog that'll pull you.
I'm the
pull her
dog.
on the sled.
Rough.
I know. Oh my God. No, you gotta try it again. I mean, just get her like, if she goes behind you next time, that's how you make that work better.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. I've never thought about that.
But I'm guessing it was spraying in your face because your feet were out of the sled kicking up the snow.
No. It was just bad snow. It was like a day that there had been a bunch of snow, then the sun was out for a long time, so there's a lot of like ice snow.
Like icy. Mm-hmm.
No, my feet were fine. Her feet might have been spraying. I guess I don't remember what happened. It might have just been like the weight distribution was bad. I might have been ducking behind her and shoveling snow on her. I don't know. It was, who knows? It was years ago. I just read a new article that says you're not supposed to ever take your kids down the slide. You're not supposed to have them, you know what I mean?
No.
Like
you're not supposed to go with them?
Right.
Okay.
Because you'll break their
so
legs.
you're still in that phase of parenting where you're reading all the things that are going to kill your children.
Yeah,
doing
somebody
wrong.
else sent it to me. I didn't. But I also I have heard of somebody breaking their leg from that. So I don't do it like that. I sit them up so their feet are, because of that. I heard that story. So, and I already broke my daughter's leg. I don't need any slide to help me along with that.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Well, I think what this book is telling us is that you can just send your kid out there by themselves and they'll be fine.
It would be
They'll
great.
find their way through the neighborhood.
Those were the
They'll make
days,
good decisions.
not get kidnapped.
I know.
So yeah.
Like have the neighborhood kids look out for you.
One of my highlights
Leave you
here
alone.
is the stick. The stick was Wes's first real word besides like mama and dada and stuff.
Oh.
She has always loved sticks, and I think it started with this, or at least it definitely centered around this at some point. And I love the little joke in there, where it like
Tell me.
it just shows you the tracks, and he drags his feet slowly to make tracks, and then and he found something sticking out of the snow that made a new track, and then you turn the page.
Oh.
It was a stick.
That's a stick.
So like it kind of reminds me of that joke. What's brown and sticky? A stick.
That's awesome. That's true. Maybe that's where the joke came from.
Or
Ezra Jack Keats, like.
Oh, you mean
originator
Jacob Ezra Keats? That's his original name.
No, it's not.
It is too.
Really?
Yeah. I looked it up to see if it was any better than Ezra. I spent seriously, I barely read this book, didn't take any notes, just spent about 35 minutes looking up better than Ezra jokes.
Oh my God.
And I love the plop. Wes used to love that. This is a very nostalgic book
on the
for me.
on the
This is
hood.
like right, yeah.
Aww.
This is like right when she really started engaging more. Like engaging more in the story.
Like having questions, and you could tell she was paying
talk
attention
and stuff instead of just like saying boat. Yeah.
I think that's what's magical about this book is that it's so simple, and it's just about this kid's simple experience with elements, and then you realize like your kid actually does experience the world this way.
Yes.
And that's really lovely. But then I think on top of that, what you're saying is like then the kids also enjoy a book that's about this like simple experience, which is
this looks like
really,
a magical
really beautiful.
experience to her. Like
yeah.
It is, I guess. I guess maybe that's the point. But I love the part towards the end. I think when he's in the bathtub and he just thought and thought and thought about, like just the idea. Yes. You don't see a lot of thinking in children's books because adults forget that children do it.
It's true. It doesn't need to be all action. It's like, I know. How do you teach that to a kid? Like, that's the point where I'm at. Like, he's reflecting on his day. Like, he's just living in his head right now, which is kind of awesome.
Yeah. Well, that's what
Wes doesn't need any tools.
Wes is very cerebral. So that really resonated with her, I think. And that really like resonated with me. Like, oh yeah, she is thinking a lot about stuff, isn't she? Death mostly, but
yeah.
She also learned her stoplights from this book.
Oh,
because there's that one page with.
Did they talk about them, or they just
there's
illustrate
just a stoplight?
them?
So she would just. She always liked looking at it, and then I taught her that red is stop, green is go, and yellow is speed up.
Good.
Make the light, I said. You're in a
Yellow's
hurry.
a suggestion.
Life
I
is
think that's
finite.
one of my highlights is the I think it's the illustrations. There's color combinations, even though it's like a snowy white themed book, there's still like really beautiful color, like obviously his snowsuit.
It's also very flat, like almost like a collage, do I want to say it?
Yes.
Like
like it's
what's that art called? What's that called where you cut and paste stuff? I don't remember,
collage.
But it kind of reminds me of. It actually really reminds me of the 70s, 60s, and 60s, I guess. Sesame Street vignettes, like the gotta remember a gallon of milk, a stick of butter, and a loaf of bread, or whatever.
Butter. Yep.
That kind of like.
I just watched that cartoon the other day. I always get that cartoon and this book mixed up. That's so
really?
funny. I do. Yes, I do.
That is really.
I just saw it the other day.
Weird because it's weird.
Except the animation is really strange.
I know that's the one that gets real trippy, right? With the owl.
It's like the kids just like swinging their arms and they're kind of like, I don't know how to. It doesn't. I don't know if it gets super trippy, but everything in that era had like a layer of like psychedelic.
It's like I think the idea was all these things were distracting him. And the things that were distracting him kept getting crazier and crazier. And one of them is this. Maybe I was on acid when I was a kid.
I don't think that's it.
Oh, I think it is. Everybody, dear listeners, go look this up. I think Erica saw the edited version, the no drug, just say no edit. And
that's true.
There's just an owl that pops out that just says, just say no to drugs, kids. Here, let me remind you. It was a gallon of milk, loaf of bread, and a stick of butter. What is the order on that? I feel like I never get the order right.
It's a loaf of bread, a stick of butter, and a gallon of milk. A loaf of bread. I know you could switch it and it would still work.
A stick of
butter is in the middle.
A loaf of bread.
Stick of butter is in the middle.
So I always accidentally say it. A gallon of milk, a stick of butter, and a loaf of bread. Oh, that's probably
all works, but it's the other.
Yeah, I guess I'm just like really smart, so I just think of things backwards. I guess. I mean, that's
true.
That's probably,
I think you must have a high intellect.
I must have an extremely high intellect that makes me so awkward. Do you like the snow in general?
I like it when it first comes.
Uh-huh.
But as a grown-up, I get so tired of shoveling and dealing with it and having back problems and driving in it. So it really is a bummer to, I think, age in the world of snow.
I have definitely re-embraced it, like you said. Like I feel like having kids definitely does help with that and Christmas, both.
I know.
doesn't do shit for February or January. I'll tell you that. But
No, it does not.
it, in fact,
Or March.
makes it worse because you're stuck inside.
Indeed.
But
I mean, I think it's pretty. I think it makes things nice and quiet. I every year try to commit to some kind of like outdoor activity so I don't totally hate it. I have friends that are into skiing and skate skiing and do a lot with it.
I'm sorry, did you say skate
don't
skiing?
understand them. Yes.
What's skate skiing?
Do you know what that is?
No.
That's that kind of, it's cross-country skis, but they're locked on your boots and they go like this. I'm doing the crossing of the arms and they're kind of like pushing off the skis. They're racing. So it's more of a racing sport.
Yeah, no thanks.
It's in the sno though.
It is in the snow.
Very big here.
Oh,
it's a racing in the snow.
Yeah. Here in Italy. I also find it relatable when Peter is talking to his mom, telling her all of his adventures. And that like tactile idea of having your wet socks removed and how much better that is than removing your own wet socks. Like how much better? Like I was just imagining it while I was reading it and I was like, oh, yeah, this is nice. I'm going to like take my child's wet socks off as much as I can. In fact, I've started just pouring water on their socks every night. And then I take them off just so they can have that satisfaction.
Oh, you know what you could do? You could get the bathtub like lightly filled with water and then just dunk them in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, did you get wet?
Oh, no.
Come here. I thought you were saying you imagined your own wet socks being pulled up.
I did, but there's no way I'm going to be able to convince anyone to remove my wet socks at this point.
Are you sure? I feel like kids at this age are very suggestible.
Oh,
you should
right.
try it. Please make this a goal between
try.
This time and the next time.
Can you take off my wet socks? Wes
You
hates...
start with a dry sock.
Oh, I see. Okay. That's a good way to do it. And then, is this one wet? Interesting. Jeez. Oh, my gosh. Are you okay?
Sorry, do you hear it? I know.
It's okay. There's a mail carrier. Somebody's at the door. Eric is burning some sage.
Yes, I have to purge a ghost. They're knocking. It's just any door. We always get these dogs that anytime there's a noise that is not originating from the house, or even if it is, it's bark time.
Oh,
and
it's bark time.
Brett decided many years ago that when our first dog who did this, it startled anyone really with the barking, the sudden outbursts. He was like, I have misophonia. I was like, well, I think you just, I don't know. He maybe took some test or something that determined he did. I'm like, I think we all have a degree of misophonia.
When it's
where
dogs
grating noise.
Barking loudly for no reason.
Make you startled.
Yeah. I don't like being covered in spiders and bitten. I have arachnophobia.
Yes. I don't like being in an iron coffin that's slowly filling with water.
Yeah, I guess I'm just kind of a bit of a claustrophobic. That's so funny. Yeah, okay, so I'll just train my kids to take my socks off.
Yeah. I think you should start with dry socks, clean dry socks.
Yeah, Wes, because
we all deserve to be carried in a...
Wes gets so mad at me if I touch her and I have wet hands. So I feel like this wet sock thing might be a tough one. Maybe I'll start with slimy socks. She likes slime a lot.
Oh, really? Oh, God. All kids like slime.
I know. I thought she wouldn't because she doesn't like the other things.
Yeah, tactile.
She loves it. She's sensory seeking.
Did we talk about how this book was... I think everybody knows this book, but it's a super lauded book. It won a Caldecott Medal in 1962, which is for illustration. He illustrated and wrote this book.
How do you think he felt about that? Do you think he was jealous of himself at all? Like, what about my writing? Oh, so my writing shit? Is that what you're saying?
Worked really hard on those words.
It's like...
The pictures, not so much.
Ezra's drawings were better than Ezra's writing, I guess, he said to himself. I love the tiles on the bathtub
That's how he
scene.
changed.
The tiles on the floor.
Oh, show me. Can you?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's the colors that I love.
yeah, Wes
oh my
used
God,
to love
yes.
those too, and she would just point at all of them and say, tile, tile, tile.
She asked first what they were.
Yeah.
Do you guys have tile on your bathroom floor?
Yeah, a little bit. But she would just be, she thought it was something else, and I was like, no, idiot. That's tile.
Oh, yeah. That's pretty. I forgot. There's like this contrast in colors. I think he does really well.
Oh, yeah, it's great.
I wonder how he did it. I did not ask. Oh, wait. I'm going to look up. How did Ezra make his pictures? I'm going to read this to you from Ezra trained as a fine artist before he began illustrating
I'd say
books
it's
for a living.
better than fine, but whatever.
Closer
I am
is
fine, yeah.
fine, yeah. So he worked in oils, watercolor, gouache, I don't know how to say that, and pen and ink. When he began to illustrate, he also experimented with collage. That's what he did. Also, you could say...
I experimented in collage, too.
Exactly.
Sorry, I just had to interrupt you to steal your joke. I apologize.
Told everybody. Yeah, said everybody who went to college.
Speaking of going to college, this kid's pretty dumb if he thinks a snowball is going to last in his pocket. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. I do like that little lesson in there. So there's like most of it's just simple and not any problem, with the exception of not being able to throw the snowball, to get in the snowball fight. But he handles that with grace and aplomb. And then the other thing, and he just gets sad, and that's all. Nobody does anything about it.
But it's like a dark time for him. He has a whole dream about like summer coming back.
Oh, so you think that's because
and he's pleasantly surprised.
So you think that dream is informed by the melting snowball?
Yes.
Oh, I thought that dream
sad.
was about a fear of being buried alive. I'm a dream analyst, so what else do we got to say about this?
Wow, you have a lot of jobs.
I do have a lot of jobs. Do you know if there's a animated version of this? Sorry, I said it like that. Speaking of Sesame Street,
Is there an animated? Oh. Is there an animated?
Is there an animated? Is there a nanobot? Is there a nanobot of this? Have we entered the nonsense portion of the show? Yeah, is there an animated version?
I don't know.
I feel like there should be.
I don't know.
I mean, I'm glad there's not, but I bet there is. I also really like my only other experience with S-Man is the Pet Show. Do you know that one? Oh, it's good.
No, I do not. I do not know anything else.
We'll have to do that soon. That was the one I started on.
Is this the portion of we're recommending shows that we were supposed to watch for each other?
Oh, this isn't a show.
We watch Suits.
Oh,
Suits is really good. It's got Meghan Markle in it.
It is not. It's not good, is it? It's Canadian.
Is it Canadian?
I don't know. I feel like it was shot in Vancouver. I'm pretty sure it was shot in Vancouver. It's all part of the the empire,
Mm-hmm. That's true. Yeah, which she is.
The Queen Mum.
Anyway,
Mum's the word.
So good.
More like Queen Mummy now. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So that's totally
what
makes
they
sense.
did, because I'm sure they mummified her.
Mm-hmm.
They should.
And then she got out.
Do you think she got out? Oh shit.
Yeah.
Well, I gotta get going. Okay, that's all that we have to say about the snowy day. If you enjoy the show, please rate and review it, and tell somebody that you like about us. And if you don't like it, then I don't know, tell somebody you hate. For a transcript of this episode or any episode, please send a self-addressed stamped envelope to the address on your screen, and we will send you back a post-it note that says, "Fuck no." Until next time, good night, mush, good night, creepy old lady, and good night, book.
The end.